so excited to come your way with another thrilling edition of the Daily Trend TV show right here on the New World TV. And just as we do here every day, we bring socially trending issues into discussion. And I'm not doing this alone. I have on my immediate right
Miss Manuela A.C. Inkum.
And on my left
Vera.
Please, there is so much to talk about in this segment. Don't go anywhere, just stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. Wow. You're welcome from this break, and just as I said earlier, there is so much to talk about, and I am your host, Odro Echan Abigail. So I want to start with this. What is the ideal age for marriage, or is there anything like, do we have an ideal age for marriage at all? But first of all, we'll look shortly at what marriage is.
Okay, so as we all know, marriage is a union between two people. Yes, it can't be three. It's always two people. And it used to be a union between a man and a woman, traditionally. But as of today, we know that there's gay marriage, yes, and there's also lesbian marriage. So between a woman, man. Yeah, so marriage is actually a legally accepted union between two individuals, yes.
Okay, and let's look at the key term we have here, ideal age. Is there anything we have to talk about with the ideal age? Or?
I think when you talk about ideal has to be considered like something perfect to yourself.
Okay.
Something you think is good for you. And then we shouldn't forget the differences between ideal and legal.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you talk about legal age, then you are talking about an accepted age by constitution, and it differs from country to country. Yeah. Like when you look at Mexico, 16 years you can get married. I don't know what a 16-year girl has to even think of marriage, but it's accepted that even in England. Wow. I was surprised to find out that even in England, 16 years you can get married.
Wow.
Yes. But when we come back to an ideal age for marriage, I think when you talk about ideal, it has to be considered as I said earlier, a perfect or a wholesome age. And being at that age, I think, has to do with maturity. Exactly. Because you can't, age alone cannot guarantee you being mature.
Sure.
Because maturity has to do with you being accepted in an environment, acknowledging the kind of environment you are, and behaving responsibly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think with that, the legal age actually can make sense in the sense that when you look at England and you look at the European countries, their systems are a bit different from how things are done in Africa. So you can see a child who is 15 years and the child looks like a 31-year-old.
But I think no matter how big or giant you are, it still has to do with the brain.
And sometimes they feel like once you are able to work, some people are 16, we hear of people who are 16, 15, and they have their own companies. They have something they are doing. And even when you go to the rural areas, they don't really base their life on education per se. It's just about you have your farm, you can produce crops. So they feel like once you are able to do that, to take care of your farm and you're able to produce crops, you are ready for marriage because you can now take care of a family. Yes. But then when we talk about ideal and then legal, what is ideal to someone might not be legal.
Sure.
In a country, and what is also legal might not be the ideal age, because the country might say 18, but then someone is 18 and you see no maturity whatsoever. So you can't tell the person to get married at that age. Yeah.
So just as you are saying, in USA, even in USA, there are some states that have agreed on 18, but there are other states they agree on 19, others still on 21.
I saw 12
really?
too in US in some states, yes. And Pakistan, for them, the ideal, the legal age is 16.
In Pakistan.
And then it's 18 for guys because they say girls grow faster than, I don't know, with hormones or whatever. So 18 for guys, but 16 for ladies.
Wow.
So when we talk about an ideal age, I think, like I said earlier, it has to do with maturity. If you think you are matured enough to let go or to look past your feelings and then take the responsibility or consider the feelings or the needs of others, then I think you can be ripe for marriage or ready for marriage. If not, I don't think because the legal age is 18 when you are at, yes, you have to just jump into it, because marriage is not something you can just go and taste and then see if it is okay, then you stay. No. It's something you go in fully prepared, because you don't know what you're going in for. There are good days, there are bad days. But you have to be prepared. You have to be of sound mind. So being a matured person, as in being a grown-up, or being, sometimes it's just society putting some pressure, especially on ladies.
Exactly.
On ladies.
Exactly.
When you are 21, no, 21 is, when you are 35,
from even 25, it depends on the community.
When are you married?
not considering maybe what you do, your career, your school, your whatever you want to get before getting married. Like you said, what might be ideal for somebody might not be legal, like the other way around.
So let's say I'm 15 years and I think I'm matured, I'm responsible. You said it's not about the age. We can't consider the age. So I'm thinking I'm so matured. I know how to put things together. I have feelings for everything. Can I?
The question is, what are the standards or the criteria? What are you using? What are you using to show that you are married?
Personal suggestion of myself. I've looked into myself and I think I
let somebody tell you the behaviors you portray outside, if you are matured or not. I can say I'm matured, and my maturity means when somebody insults me, I should insult back. You understand? So what you might be thinking, or you might be considering, oh, I'm matured, I'm of age, I can do this. No. Sometimes certain behaviors, certain things you do, even outside, shows your maturity level. It's not by you yourself, okay, I'm 14, I'm 15, I have feelings for this boy, I think if we stay together. No.
And that's a mistake certain people do. Most teens, I don't really see that in Africa, because in Africa, but you know, in certain countries, non-African countries, teens can run away from home, go and, you know,
find a place,
they get pregnant, and later along the line they regret it. You understand? Sometimes it has to do with the community you are in. As I was talking about the rural areas, certain communities, even when you start menstruating, you are ready to get married. Some communities base their maturity level on their own standards, which might not make sense to another community. Because in some community, once you are a lady, you start menstruating, you know how to go to the farm, harvest food, you know how to cook, you know how to...
In that way, are they basing your maturity based on like your strength, because you are able to do this, you are able to do that?
They have their own criteria, which they've used for years. It's like an ancestral thing, and then I mostly say these are communities that are, I use the word rural. I don't know what I should use rural in this case. You see, we have certain communities that are not really developed
in a village setting.
Yeah, exactly. So stuck to the ancestral ways of doing things. So if my mother got married at 16, definitely when I get to 16 and I can also do the things that my mother did when she was 16, I should also get married. And then we shouldn't forget that, like you said, if you are 15 years, you think you can get married and you are matured. I read this thing and I saw the same knowledge is knowing what to say, but wisdom is knowing when to say it. So being matured and being of a grown mind, being responsible, has to do with a lot of things, and not seeing yourself to be, I'm this, I'm that, I can do this, I can do that. You have to be fit in a society. So I think sometimes when we talk about marriage, on the lighter note, we think it's just about the lobby. I love this person. No. There's I don't know how to say. There's more to it than just what we see.
But then that brings me to this question. So how about children in certain communities who are pushed into the marriage, who are forced into the marriage?
That is an abuse.
We call it an abuse, but to some communities, that is the norm.
Like I said, Pakistan, if they say the legal age is 16, here in Africa, especially like in Ghana, it's not 16, it's 18. So we might see that to be an abuse or something, because a 16-year-old person, I don't know if the person has even discovered herself well, to know what she likes, what she doesn't like, and to take on somebody else's problems as hers. I don't know. But you see,
one thing I also know is that for the maturity, sometimes it deals with experience. So perhaps a 16-year-old girl has been taking care of her younger siblings from 10 years.
What I was about to say.
So perhaps that is where she has gained her experience.
I was about to say this because civilization has actually changed a lot of things, especially how we think. Now, in the past, maturity was all about, as she was saying, you've taken care of your siblings. They feel like you are used to the usual routines of a mother, and then you start menstruating, you're ready for marriage. That is, but then civilization comes and then education comes and then we are saying a girl has her rights to go to school, and it changes everything.
And then to even add up to what you just said, if we are taking, you took care of your younger ones, then you are talking about motherhood, as in our next topic that we'll be talking about. Because when you talk about marriage, let's not put taking care of somebody. You are taking care of a home. You are taking care, if children come, you are taking care of a whole man. A whole man.
Okay.
A whole man.
Sure.
You are taking care of a lot. You are taking care of yourself too, because you have to be in good mind to be able to take care of those people. Like you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And then sometimes too, when we talk about marriage, like the 16 years I said, a 16-year-old, let's say a 16-year-old get married to 35. Excuse me to say, the manhood aspect, like to sex and all those things. I don't think, like I said earlier, that 16-year-old has been able to discover herself, what she like, she doesn't like sexually.
Yeah.
Some people are just scared at the mention of sex.
Okay.
Yes, because there are some places that education on sex is like, we don't talk about this here.
Exactly.
When it comes to sex, we don't talk about this here until you get there. Until I get there and I don't know what to do.
What should I do?
You understand? So sometimes when we are talking about marriage and the ideal age and the maturity and everything, we should also think about the body of a 16-year-old. That aspect is really disturbing me, because I don't know why a whole country would take into consideration putting a 16-year-old child in, like, it's serious.
But if it has been there for years, don't you think we question it is actually not?
I don't think it's been there for years, because
it has. I think it has been traditional.
Maybe there was maybe at a point rate of teenage pregnancy was becoming too much. They wanted to regulate certain things, but I think it should have been. If there should be any introduction of anything, it should have been education. On how to take care of yourself, especially around guys and everything like that. But to push the child into marriage because you want to control maybe teenage pregnancy, this and that, I don't. For that aspect, I just don't.
Let's look at this. I know in marriage, one partner is supposed to complement the other partner. So my would-to-be husband is 35 years, and I am 16 years. Perhaps he can compliment me with his maturity levels or with his experience.
Have you ever been with somebody that you felt so low? Because looking at your age, you'll be a 16-year-old will be talking from a 16-year-old mind.
Okay.
A 35-year-old will be talking from a 35-year-old mind. Okay. So if maybe when I was 16, I used to remove this thing and nothing happens. Now 16, maybe when I remove, it might cause some sound or whatever. I don't know. The 35 years has passed there, so knows. Now whatever the 16-year-old might do will look like a childish thing to the 35-year-old because he or he has passed that level.
Okay.
You understand? So sometimes, I don't know how a 16-year.
Okay, so if I'm putting myself in the question, is there any ideal age for marriage? I don't want to give a yes or a no answer. So we now know that it's based on your personal achievements, maturity, responsibility. Even if the country is saying 18, 16, 19, check yourself before you do anything else. Until
you know you can behave responsibly, until you know you can let go or look past your feelings, take the responsibility of others, until you know what you are really going into, until you are sure of doing this and doing, until you are sure of separating bad from good. Not just by let me go and taste. If it is okay, I stay. If it's not okay, then I get out. I don't think that you are ready for marriage.
So let's look at why the ages of men and women in marriage, why like some of the countries even varies. Let's say a man has to be 18 and a woman has to be 16. Why is there that variation?
I think it's because of how our bodies develop. Exactly. Especially like we ladies. When maybe I was 15 years, I was kind of maybe slim. 18, I'm like boom. A man might be 16, 20 and still slim from I think they're just looking at the bodies, how our bodies are being developed, and then I don't think they are looking at the brain aspect of it all because a 16-year, like I said earlier.
This has been a wonderful discussion. We are actually going for a short break. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back from the break. So we are moving to another interesting topic, which is motherhood. We want to look at what motherhood is all about. Is it what we fantasize about?
No.
Or is that something more to we don't know? Let's take a look at this short video. We'll be right back.
I have to sit down. You can sit on me. I have to sit down. Motherhood is unconditional love,
Selflessness.
beauty and joy.
Big brother. Mama.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
It means a lot of responsibility.
Lots of patience.
Okay, wait.
This is really, really, really important. Listen to me. Bring it down, okay?
This past year has been the quickest year of my life. I can't. She just farted.
You asked what motherhood was. This is motherhood. It's not getting to finish a sentence.
I'm just gonna lie down, exhausted.
I finally understand why my mother worries and cares so much.
Where there is love, nothing is too much trouble, and there is always time.
Yeah, welcome back. All right, so we are looking at motherhood. We saw from the video.
Quite funny.
It's not it's very stressful. Okay, but then my question now is, who is a mother? Is a mother someone who has actually had a baby before, or who is a mother actually?
So I think that a mother is someone who is able and capable to have or raise a child. If we put it just have, that is when the person has biologically given birth. But someone can adopt a child, a mother, a child. Okay. So a mother is someone who is capable and able to have or raise a child. Wow. Simply terms.
And I think also a mother is somebody who can understand, especially these little ones. It's not easy. Like, I think a mother is somebody who can put her life down for others.
Sure.
I don't think fathers can do that.
Someone was actually making this argument that a father
can be a mother.
Yeah, a man can also be a mother.
It depends on experience, but talking from experience, I don't think a father can do what a mother can do.
Some men lose their wives and decide not to marry and still raise their children.
I know somebody who lost their wife and next month the person got married.
Sure. So they bring in another relative to take care of the children.
Yeah,
yes.
But I think some men are capable.
They are capable. They can do, but they can't do the best out of it.
I haven't seen yet.
Maybe they'll try and say
I haven't seen yet. Because sometimes it's not like I'm saying they cannot do, but men have this hard heart, stone heart that they can just let go of certain emotions and then just move on that quickly. Okay. Women, we can't do that. Right. So if I say a man cannot do, it's not because you know their hearts. A man can lose them. The wife today, tomorrow starts drinking, eating, and everything. A woman will lose the husband and can mourn for the whole year. Okay. So you see, a mother is somebody who can. All right. So
we know basically that when the word motherhood or mother is mentioned, the first thing that comes to people's minds is baby, having a baby. So we want to talk about the whole concept of pregnancy. What goes into before pregnancy, after pregnancy? Let's take a look at this video. We'll be right back.
When you're thinking about getting pregnant, you want to be in the healthiest state possible. So it's important to go and visit your physician or your midwife to plan on how to have a healthy pregnancy.
We can help you optimize any health conditions that you may have. We can talk about getting your body healthy before starting a pregnancy.
And then even just mentally and emotionally preparing to make room for a child in your life.
During that visit, we can have multiple conversations, making sure that you are as healthy as possible prior to conception.
My doctor told me in order to prepare for getting pregnant to start implementing some more regular exercises in my routine.
So physical activity is very important. The healthier you are prior to conception, the better it is for the outcome of the pregnancy. It's very key that you maintain a well-balanced diet.
I made quite a few changes with my diet. I started making sure I brought more fruits and vegetables with me to work so that I was eating better during the day.
So lean meats, healthy fruits and vegetables, and nutritional development as well too with prenatal vitamins and ensuring that those are on board at least 3 months prior to conception.
Okay, so looking at pregnancy, as I said, so we're going to look at before pregnancy. What goes into we just saw from the video, it's all about eating healthy, but we have actually a mother here, and I think she'll tell us into details.
I think when you look at what goes into pregnant, what even comes into mind before you get pregnant, to us, let's say locally, we don't have what we just saw.
Okay.
Because there are some cultures or there are some places that even if I want to get pregnant, I go to a doctor, talk to the doctor when and when. But there are people to that it just happens, you have to deal with it. So I think it varies from country to country or state to state. But getting pregnant, it's nice. It's a good experience. It's something you cannot explain. But when you talk about the pain aspect of it, that is when people don't want to really go into it. But I think getting pregnant is a nice thing to do.
Okay.
From conception to giving birth to when the baby comes to when the baby comes. And you know that when a baby comes for the first month, they don't sleep in the night.
Wow.
They sleep during the day.
Is it intentional or it's natural?
Unless you ask God. They don't sleep in the night, they sleep during the day. And you, the mother, have to do your things or your daily activities during the day.
So that in the night you can get time for him.
But it's in the night that the baby also doesn't sleep. And you cannot sleep while your baby is sleeping. So I only think motherhood, I don't know if there should be a school for just motherhood, because there are no rules to it.
Such schools exist, but I don't know if in Africa it seems they are not really common.
I'm yet to see that.
Yeah, such schools exist.
Motherhood as a school. Looking from the research I made, I saw that mother is a state or experience of having or raising a child. So first of all, it's a state. If it's a state, then it means it's a natural state. And experience is, I don't know, because if you've never given birth, how would the experience come?
You learn on the job.
Hey.
No,
so you learn from books.
Yes, because me, when I got pregnant, I didn't really like reading, especially about this pregnant, because it scares you. Sometimes seriously, because they might be telling you at this stage you have to feel this way. So if you don't feel that way, then you might be thinking there's something wrong with you, but it might be natural.
Yeah.
Okay, and I give 10% of praises to men that support their women when they are pregnant. When they are pregnant. And let's not forget about the sleepless nights.
Okay.
Especially from your 8th to the 9th one when you're about giving birth. Sleep is just like something you can hold your hands on. You just can't sleep. You turn this way, it's a problem. You turn the other way, it's a problem. So I think pregnancy is something only God helps during that time. But when the baby comes, that's what our mother say. When the baby comes, you just forget about all those pains, because looking at somebody who was in you, looking at somebody who you can say is part of you. I don't know the joy. I don't know if I can't explain it. It's just the joy of knowing this is my child. I went through all this pain for this person.
Wow.
It's just, oh God.
So looking at the motherhood aspect, are we to say that it ends after the few little years of the child? Let's say after 5 years, that's where the motherhood ends? Or
I'm not a mother, but I know it doesn't end.
So the rest, even when your child is 45 years.
Do you still not disturb your mother?
Exactly.
Right.
So
exactly, it doesn't end. It's like
even when you get married.
And it's like basically, I feel like in Africa especially, once you're a woman, you are kind of naturally a mother.
A woman of any age at all.
Yes, that's how I feel like.
Mother.
Not just any age, but let's say from adolescence, because I feel like anybody can come to you for help. When there's a problem, children are crying.
That's when I think the maturity comes in. And I think that being a mother or being called a mother should be an honor, because for somebody to look to you even though you haven't given birth, for somebody to look to you and be like, oh, you are a mother to me, I think it's an honor, because it's something that cannot be explained. It might be the help you offer to the person. It might be maybe in cash, advice, anything at all.
Okay.
So if somebody tells you, oh, you look like a mother to me, or I love you the way I love my mother, hold that person so dearly.
So I wanted to quickly and briefly discuss during the pregnancy, the do's and don'ts during the pregnancy. Okay. I know basically health comes first.
Yes.
Yeah, but are there any other things during pregnancy?
Yeah, it depends too on the stages, because there are some stages, there are certain exercises you can do. Okay. There are stages that there are certain foods you can't even eat. And let's not talk forget about when you have this high risk of pregnancies that you don't like this, you don't like the smell of this, you can't go close to this, and all those things. So I think when you talk about certain things, the do's and don'ts, it depends on the stages, and then it depends too on the individual. Okay. Because sometimes what might happen to you, or you might go through during your pregnancy might not even be the same for me. Some people have it so easy, some it's just a hell out of, like, you understand.
It looks like we are talking about a pregnancy. So let's talk about a mother of like a grown-up, let's say adolescent age. What are some of the challenges that we face being a mother of quite an adolescent type?
You know, I'm not yet a mother.
Look at the,
I'm not yet a mother, but looking at the generation we are in now, I'm scared to be a mother. Okay. Because it's kind of like children know more than even the adult themselves. Sure. I mean, how to raise your child to actually be the responsible person you want. The question is, how would you know my child won't end up being a drunkard? How do I know my child won't end up following peer pressure? I think these fears make motherhood so stressful.
Oh, seriously. And all you can do is just do your best, leave the rest to God. Wow. Because sometimes when you do all that you can do and your child goes out there, it's left to him and his or her God. Wow. So much prayers has to be put in. And then, you know, this 21st century technology and other things, you might think your child is so good that when you might not even know what the child is doing outside. So I think it's all do your best as a mother or as a parent in a home, and then leave the rest to God. Just much prayers and everything.
Yeah, I think we are behind.
So children have come here, mother now. Can children actually cause breakup?
The idea of children.
Can children cause breakup in marriage? I think when the children are not yours. Let's say you marry a man who already has children. Sure. It can sometimes cause problems in a way.
And also, if the idea of children, let's say you're married for 10, 16 years, there is no child.
Yeah, barrenness.
The mother-in-law will become your father-in-law will become where are our children, our grandchildren?
And
so I think that would also cause a breakup.
Sorry not to cut you. And I also think that sometimes what might make a child cause a breakup seriously is when you have a child and you hide it from your partner, whether married or not, because sometimes some people are just so scared to introduce the child into the relationship or the marriage, and then when to introduce to is a problem. If you don't find the right time and maybe your partner gets to find out, it can also cause problem in that sense. So I think everything has to be done.
It's been so interesting, but I think we just have to wrap up. So Miss Mela, so incoming mother, please make your final words.
I think motherhood is not something we should be scared of. It's actually a very, very sweet thing. Just be prepared, pray, and then prepare yourself. You do all that. You are your best mother,
Our mother.
Touching on the first one, like the ideal age for marriage, I think it has to do with maturity. When you can realize that, like I said earlier, you can look past your feelings and take or consider the feelings of others, then you can get married. And then into the marriage too, you should be prepared physically, like I said, God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit. It has to do with your soul, body, and everything, and be ready for whatever you've gotten yourself into. And then touching on the last one, children causing marriage, I think when it comes to barrenness, like you said, both in-laws should take patience, because it's God that gives. And in everything, we just have to do our best to our children, and make sure we are good mothers and leave the rest to God.
Make sure you are good mothers and leave the rest to God. So this brings us another exciting episode of the Daily Trend TV show. And just as we do here, you can catch a repeat this and every Wednesday at 9:10 a.m. and 4:10 p.m. I was not here alone. I was joined with my able, interesting co-host. On my right, Miss Mela
Inkum.
And on my right,
Vera, if you're entry from Poma.
It's been nice having you here. Till we meet again, it's bye-bye.
Bye.